Hey guys, welcome back to Paradise. Today we are just enjoying a beautiful day out here in the Arizona desert. Hannah Dog's along with me. And I just wanted to share with you guys a book that we just finished reading. As you know, we read a lot of books. We read on a wide variety of topics. And Heather does a really good job at finding us free books everywhere we go. Usually libraries have like free sections that you can go get. The free little libraries always have some good stuff. And then we've also been finding a lot of like random stores, like little mom and pop stores that decide to put bookshelves in their stores and just give them away free. So we've been finding a lot of good books lately. So we've been reading a lot. And I wanted to share this one with you because I thought this one was one of the best ones I've read in a long time, especially for our viewers here on Paradise on Pennies. So the book is called The Waist Makers. And the irony of it is the book fell apart. So that was actually my bookmark here. So it's called The Waist Makers, and it's by Vance Packard here. And this was published in 1960. So it was written before that, but it was published in the 60s. And it tells the startling facts behind the American philosophy and practices of deliberate waste. So it really goes hand in hand with why we live this way. So a lot of the stuff in here we kind of already knew about, but it's just nice to have it in a little book here. So if anybody's wondering why we live this way, or wanting to get out of the rat race, or just seeing how much advertising affects your life and how it affects everybody in the United States especially, this book is fantastic. It's only like 250 pages, 285 pages, but the font's pretty big. So it goes pretty quick, but he goes through all of the advertisers and marketers' schemes on how they got people to buy stuff. And so it's pretty much based on the baby boomers. So when the baby boomers were born, they were trying to figure out how to get them to buy more stuff. And the parents before them and all them, they were already into the whole capitalist and buying stuff and all that stuff, but they were like, how do I get them to buy even more? So he goes through all the marketing schemes and the advertising schemes to get them to buy more than what they needed, to kind of make that their persona, and how they perceive happiness is through buying stuff. So a lot of it goes through like the planned obsolescence, like the book falling apart, like everything that's made to fall apart right after the warranty's done. The style scheme changes, which is mostly brought on by, it started with automotive industries, where they just changed the style of the car every year, so then they kind of knew which year you're owning. And then the different planned obsolescence with tires and things like that. So he just goes through all these different schemes that they used, and then the mind manipulations and how much psychology went into brainwashing the consumers into buying their products. So it's very eye-opening if you don't know anything about marketing or advertising. It says this was in 1960 again. It was saying back then that the average person in one day was, or maybe, yeah, in one day was fed at least 2,000 ads. So that was back in the 60s, and that was right when television was kind of making a big breakthrough then, because he talks about television a little bit, but he says newspapers, they were getting so thick because there was so much advertising in it that they just couldn't even make any money anymore, because it was just all advertisements and nobody wanted to buy them anymore. So then they had TV, and obviously that was before internet. So now we're just bombarded every day with advertisements. Literally almost every single thing you see is an advertisement. Somebody wants you to spend your money on their product. Like, it's very hard to go anywhere in today's world without getting sold something. There's nothing in a city that's free. It's like you go to the park, even some of the stuff is paid for. Up in Washington State, they pay for you to go onto public lands and with their park passes and stuff like that. So it's nuts. But so he goes kind of in depth on a lot of different subjects, and then at the end he has some tips on how we could fix it. That's the only part I really wasn't a big fan of on this book, but that was because it was written in the 60s, and he's like, you can write your senators and stuff like that, and we'll make changes. And it's just like, we've gotten insanely far worse than this, and more psychologically messing with people's minds to get them buying stuff and to get them thinking that they're a brand, that's who they are, that's who their only worth is through buying stuff, through consumption. And so it's really pinpoints why we like to live this way. It's just it was very good. He was right on the money with a lot of things, and it's interesting to see that they were talking about it back in the 60s. and earlier before that, because this Vance Packard, he wrote a whole bunch of different books about, he was very against the society. He was very against the way that we were heading. So, hey, what are you doing? So-so's giving Ohana some kisses. But anyways, I thought I'd just share that with you today again. It's Vance Packard, The Waste Makers. So we read a lot all the time, and we're reading all about on different things, but this one actually fit pretty well with what our philosophy is here on POP. So if you're interested in more book reviews, we can do that more often. If you're interested, we read probably a book or two a week. We're usually reading about 2 or 3 books at a time, so this one just happened to be the one I thought you guys would really think would be helpful if you're interested in trying to get out of the rat race. This is fantastic. So again, The Waste Makers by Vance Packard. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Check it out, and we'll see you guys next time.